Okay, 160. I indeed am happy, others sad. I'm high and mighty, others low. I'm helped while others are abandoned. Why am I not jealous of myself? Okay, why are we jealous of others who are a bit higher? But then we also are in a very good situation. Why are we not jealous of ourselves? It's a good argument, isn't it? So this is, instead of always saying the others have a better life, I'm so unfortunate, I'm so terrible, look what good you have. I'm sure many people could be jealous of you, of each one of us sitting here. Yeah? So why not just see the good things in our own life? So especially thinking about your own chance of being able to practice Dharma, I'm so fortunate that others could indeed be jealous of me. And just, to have to listen to this without running out, without running away. I mean, you need so much courage. And you need so much merit to be able to understand what is being said also. And to really appreciate our own mind who makes the effort to listen to these things and trying to put at least, small into practice. Happiness, fulfillment, these I leave aside. The pain of others, this I will embrace. It sounds like totally masochistic. Inquiring of myself repeatedly, I will become aware of all my faults. So, if you take your own luck or good fortune and by breathing out you give it to others. Or at least, try to share by thoughts, by thinking, may all beings be so fortunate. And the unfortunate things, may they all come to me. Because the ego says, no thank you. I will want to keep what is good, and whatever is not good, I want to give away. Yeah, this is what we usually do. So when we do Tonglen, and we will do the meditation before we finish this Chantideva thing. So first you take yourself, your future self, then you take friends, then you take somebody neutral, and then you take people that you would find it difficult to take. At the end, when you're really ready, you think you take on the suffering of all 6 realms. And when Geshe Tongpa Gyatso was here, I was sitting here, like he was I was sitting there, and I looked at him while he was saying, now you think you're emptying the hell realms. I looked at his face. He was so blissful. I thought, man, he's doing this. He is really happily taking away the suffering of the hell realms and emptying them out. He looked totally blissful, open and shiny. His ugly body, this ugly man's body, he was so beautiful. So it's good to have contact to these beings, those people really do it, do this properly. Yeah. The Dalai Lama also tells us, we with our, this is not just, we always want justice, right? So it says you should be, when you do meditation on equanimity, you should be like a referee. You take the world and you take you. And then you see, there's one person here, the whole interest goes for just a few people. Himself and his family. And here is the whole world. Would you think it's just that so much any resource, especially people like me who live alone, so many resources, thoughts, money, effort goes into keeping body and mind happy? Is that just neglecting all these people here? We wouldn't find that just. So then, again, you need to know that it's not you as a person, it is your attitude of the self-cherishing mind. Otherwise you think, again, you're going to, I'm so bad, I'm so selfish, and, much better to talk yourself with, I have wrong views and I cling to them, I want to clear them up. And also to understand all the suffering I have now is from grasping onto the self. This is why when you do this 8th chapter, you do Tonglen the Tibetan way, the black rock in here that you're going to destroy. Not, we can do Tonglen in a much milder way. We kind of think that we're very spacious, or there's a Buddha in here, there's a filter in here, we take the blackness, we filter it, we say, no, here you come. You take this heavy stuff and you give it to your ego. But you decide if you're ready to do that. Because you have to be able to make the distinction between the thought of the self-cherishing who does not exist and you as a person. So again, you do it with a lot of love by understanding it's this holding on which sits in here like a black rock that is creating all the suffering. And Kishitashi said when he was teaching on, I can't remember what, but anyway, he said, the problem is we're not convinced that the self-cherishing is the troublemaker. We still are not convinced after all these years of study. Because we don't experience it. This is why, awareness in daily life is so important. Whenever you have a problem, whenever you feel tight, go inside and look. Is the self-cherishing there? Yes or no? What is he saying? Oh, push it. Exaggerating. How does it make me feel? Terrible. My voice is up here. Why? Because that thing is pushing from below. Something like that. Give it a form so that it doesn't become identification. And when you're aware that when you are, angry, lying, fighting, whatever, feel that energy of me, I, I'm not concerned with the happiness of the other. I'm not able to take the perspective of the other person. And then the conviction will come. Here we have it, intellectually we have it, that self-cherishing is the troublemaker, isn't it? Intellectually, I think we have understood, yeah? But so here also it says to be able to wish happiness for your enemy, when that is honest, you have an authentic altruistic attitude. And then we're okay. Like as I said yesterday, whatever when is compassion involved, compassion, even if it hurts, it is a positive mental factor who creates positive karma. That positive karma makes we will suffer less in the future. Anger is aggressive, creates negative karma. Even if we can solve the problem with anger, there is more problems lying ahead because we create negative karma. Okay, now this is, you ask me, is it like the 8 verses? You see, this came before the 8 verses, it's 8th century, but many of it sounds like, especially this one now, 161, I must separate myself from happiness and take upon myself the suffering of others. Why am I doing this now? In this way I shall examine myself for faults. Yeah, like, I'm going to look at my faults, I'm going to look at my self-cherishing, I will be honest, without defending myself, without any excuses, stripping it bare. When others are at fault, or maybe I read here, although others may do something wrong, I should transform it into a fault of my own. But should I do something even slightly wrong, I shall openly admit it to many people. Would that be practical in our society? Clearly says yes. I'm not so sure.
I just lately started to try to practice this, and it's amazing.
And it
was, I felt so much like free to just say, I want here, I want there, and it was my mistake, and it was...
Because you need a lot of courage to do that, because what we do, we try to hide our faults. And if we can even put it into somebody else's shoes, or how much time that people tell me when they work in companies, how much time is lost. Instead of there is a mistake that's been made, instead of looking, what can we do now? They trace it all the way back. Who started it? Who said what? In what email? And this and that. Trying to prove it's not my fault. And Chogyam Trungpa, he says, in order to calm the energy when this kind of, whose fault is it and nobody wants it, it's like you have a rotten leather football that has been lying in a swamp for a few months. It stinks, it's full of worms, it's like, like it smells really bad, and you're sitting you're throwing it around, and everybody says, no, I don't want it, no, I don't want it, no, no. And then you're the one who says, okay, I'll keep it. That's it. And then the energy comes down, and then you can start to solve the problem. It's a very good example, because that's what we do, you know. Or when it's like, also me, when I look for something, even if I'm alone somewhere, I go like, who took it? You know, you also have this. I mean, it's crazy, but that's what we do. Who took it? Who misplaced it? Who did it? So it's good if we can laugh about it, and it's good if we see it, because then we see how ridiculous we behave, always trying to blame somebody else. Yeah. And then we can be honest. And everybody's doing it, as you can see, everybody's laughing and everybody's nodding. Almost everybody. If you're honest and confident with your good qualities, then you can also be totally open about the faults and mistakes you make. No need to hide and blame others anymore. This is important. Don't be too humble about your qualities. Be confident about them, because then you can also admit having made faults. If we're too modest, and if we don't recognize our good sides and our good qualities, it's no good kind of looking only at the faults. Right? That's important. The fame of others I will magnify, praising them, that it might thus outshine my own. Among them I will be as one who serves my lowly labor for their benefit. It can happen sometimes, you know, you do a really good job, somebody else takes the credit. Has it ever happened to you? No? Yeah? It's so painful. It is so painful. Here we stop the pain by saying, okay, this is happening, and we give it voluntarily. Lamas Opera said, in a couple, if one of you is flexible, it's enough. We want equality, you know, both have to be flexible, not just me. But he said, why? One is enough, and you can be that. But also if we decide to be the friar as an exercise, then we're not so hurt and we're not so harmed. Yeah, this is what it is. Because somebody has to be the friar, I'm afraid. You know, if there's a conflict between two, one of them has to be the friar. We're always looking when nobody has to be the friar. Well, it's not possible.
Yeah. The singer, Irmi Kaplan, so he said he gave an advice for a good relationship. I think he's not in a relationship, but he's giving advice. So he said he learned to say all the time, I thought about it, and you are right. Again and again, and it works. Really, we tried it out.
Yeah, but
I thought about it, and you are right.
Yeah.
Again and again, to the woman especially. I thought about it.
Yeah. But you know, again, if you hear this and you just say yes, 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 and you're the one who is flexible, but you're not strong enough, and you're not taking it as an exercise, and you're not doing it voluntarily, if you only do it for the whole thing to work, it will not work. You will feel depressed after a while. Your ego will come up again. So again, you have to be strong enough to do that and see it as a, you know, in a dream, you will react like this, it's not reality, or all is empty, blah, blah. Then you bring emptiness in that case. Otherwise, it's like, who will be able to endure that as an ordinary being? But also, we talked about the other day about couples who have been together for a long time, you know, and we can see that they have to work at this. And usually it's only one who works at this. Either him or her, but it's like, in general, it's one who really, you know, kind of lowers what he thinks is right, or what is due to him or her or whatever. And the same goes for groups. You know, when we see there's conflict, we can be fighting and fighting and fighting until somebody comes and says, okay, I don't agree with you, but it's okay, we do like this. We don't need it. We don't need years for this. It can be, you know, you can be the one who's flexible and say, oh, I don't think it's a good idea, but okay, let's try, we do like this. Then it's solved. But it's like, no, my idea. Everybody has to agree to my idea. Such a waste of time sometimes. Such a waste of time. Yeah, so when somebody takes away the credit of my work, we go, oh, he's so happy. And then you have double happiness. What was that? Did you?
No, just
thought about the politics here in Israel.
Yeah, well, the politicians, what can we do for them? We cannot do anything. You apply for premiership next time, and then maybe they will elect us. And then you will see what would you do in this situation. I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't want for our life to be president of no any country. I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't have the skills to rule a country. I have no idea. So I'm actually surprised that people still want this job. You know, like, they already have enough money. I mean, they wouldn't be so deluded. You know, they would say, no, thank you very much, I have enough money, I don't want this responsibility. What? But still they do. So this 164, did we have this? No, 164, I don't think so. Yeah, I should not praise naturally fault-ridden self for some temporary good quality it may have. I shall never let even a few people know of any good qualities I possess. I have different numbers here, but it doesn't matter. In brief, for the sake of living creatures, may all the harms I have selfishly caused to others descend upon me, myself. Like thinking, you know, the karma that I created, negative karma, it will ripen at one point. You might as well take it now. It's kind of simple. And 66. So, but here with this one also, 165, Pema Chodron says, these verses can easily be misinterpreted as a guide to masochism, okay? You take the pain mentally, you're not, you know, kind of, I'm so bad, I need to suffer, I want to punish myself, then I will repay the debts. You have to be, yeah, do you see what I mean here with this Tonglen thing? Be careful, yeah? So we need to be very clear that Shantideva is not advising us to put ourselves down. He encourages us to admit the misery caused by our ego trips, use our innate wisdom and turn the whole thing around. Rather than breeding self-loathing, this practice promotes trust in the fundamental good in us. This is something to keep in mind when directing all blame at the ego, that you are not your self-cherishing mind. Then, 166, I should not be dominating and aggressive, acting in a self-righteous, arrogant way. Instead, like a newly married bride, I should be bashful, timid, and restrained. So here in the next few verses, he's very strict with himself, kind of almost using the next one, using kind of beating himself up. If you have low self-confidence, you're not allowed to do that. Then think about your good qualities and tell yourself you have so many good qualities, you did so many good things, you're strong enough to admit mistakes and things like that first. Yeah. So again, as we said, you have to find out what works and what doesn't work. Everybody has to find out. This is why the methods are so different, and this also, I mean, when you read all the verses, you go like, what is he talking about? One point he's praising himself, then the other point he's beating himself up. What does he mean? So it's like a good father or mother who knows how to treat the child at what moment. Sometimes they have to be encouraged and, kind of praised. Other points they have to be, hey, that's enough, kind of thing. I think. I'm not a mother, I don't know. Yeah? You're not praising your children all the time, but sometimes they need it. Other times they have to be restrained. So you can be more gentle here, yeah, like especially the next one. That's how it should be and stay, and if it lapses, bring it forcibly to heal with antidotes, and if these fail, well then apply flesh. So mind, you should think and abide in this way and not act selfishly as before. If under the control of self-cherishing you transgress this code, your selfishness will be your end. Oh, here is much, Well then, apply the lash, kind of thing. So it's good to read different translations sometimes, actually. If you speak different languages also, It's quite good. I think this Yaki has translated this text, didn't he? As far as I know. Huh? Leora Kennett? Shaka? No? I know that for Shantideva Talmayan said, I think she translated some of the chapters. As far as I remember. Huh? Yeah.
The first one was
Maggie. The first one. Okay. I thought it was Yaki who had translated it.
Maggie did. I think they also issued it. Maggie?
Oh, Maggie Nachshon. Okay. Yeah, she translated this one, Ultimate Healing by Lam
Yeah, I think she also wanted to translate this
also
one.
This one.
Yaki Heading, I think together with Yaron Bahir.
Okay.
From Tibetan to Hebrew. I don't think they finished.
Oh, okay.
They started.
Yeah. Well, that's the best if it's translated from Tibetan. But don't forget, this was Sanskrit and then into Tibetan and now into all these other languages. So that's why it comes out a bit differently from time to time. Because I think this one I have here is this, this Padma Sankara, this translation group. I think they translated it from Sanskrit. And Batchelor translated it from Hebrew.
No,
No? Also from Sanskrit?
from Tibetan.
Yeah. There you go. You see, my mind, my brain, from Tibetan. Because what you have here, this is Stephen Batchelor's translation.
The original was Sanskrit.
Well, Shantideva, 8th century. Okay. Then, however mind, although you have been advised, if you do not act in like a manner, then since all misfortune will trust themselves to you, you will only be destined to destruction. There you go, it's your own fault. This time when you could do me harm, then, this is 169, that previous time when you could overcome me is now past. So you go like, that's it. You've had it. Finished now. Is now past. Now I see your nature and your faults. And wherever you go, I shall destroy your arrogance. This is when I said, when I started doing courses and everybody was praising me at Sushita, I was not used to people praising me. It was totally new that everybody thought I was so wonderful, and I'm still not used to it. So I would think the last day I would be so blown up, and I would walk down to the library and I would imagine, like my balloons here. I swear, that's what I did. I would walk down to the library, to the classes, because I wanted to avoid all this praise at the end of the course. I couldn't stand it, because I could see what it was doing to me. And I imagined I had blown up, and I imagined that I would just pull out the valve, and it would go, I could see it was no good for me, all this praise, because I was not used to it. I was such a nobody before. No, really. I was a total nobody. I had friends, yeah, a few, but like all of a sudden, 70 people who tell you how wonderful you are. It's not easy, I tell you. Yeah. So also I'm not so wonderful. Don't worry. I still have lots of faults. I still have lots of moods. Less. It's so funny. The other day I said, wow, I used to have such bad moods. And somebody who knew me before, he was agreeing. And my ego was kind of going, wow, it wasn't so bad. This is it. When I say it myself, it's absolutely no problem. When somebody else then agrees and says, wow, yeah, you have terrible moods. Then you go like, huh? It was so funny. And at that time when it happened, I didn't say anything, but I saw my reaction. And then it's very quick, and then you can let go. So I was kind of laughing inside. Oh, wow, like this. So this is what this practice is for. That we start to see how childish we are. Myself, I say, somebody else affirms it. Instead of being happy that, yes, it's true, I did see myself, I see myself, I get upset. This time, when I could do me harm, this is what we did, yeah? Yeah, wherever you go, I shall destroy your arrogance. So pull out the, So because it's a good feeling, arrogance. This is the problem, kind of, when somebody says, wow, you're so great, it comes so quickly. So it has nothing to do with self-confidence. It's okay to feel happy when somebody praises you, but then not compare it. It's so quickly we start to compare. I'm better than others because they didn't succeed, but I did. Yeah, this so quickly it comes. Okay, then 170. I should immediately cast aside all thoughts to work for my own sake. By having sold you to others, I shall not become discouraged, but shall offer up all your strengths to others. Again and again affirming to ourselves, I'm here for others, I'm here for others, I'm here for others. Then we change. As a father, as a newly father, mother, you don't have to change it. One father told me just today that now he wakes up every hour. He didn't say that with anger, he didn't say it with discouragement, he just said it as a matter of fact. You know, if there would be something outside of his house that goes off every hour, wow. Yeah, it's the same thing. You wake up once every hour, but it's your child who makes you wake up. And he even said with a lot of compassion, his teeth are coming out. Yeah, but if it's a neighbor every hour turning on his radio, well, police. Call the police. My son is waking me up every hour. Can you please come and discipline him? So we see that we can do it. It's not pleasant, but we do it because there's the love for this little being. But because we see that he's not doing it on purpose. We think the neighbor is doing it on purpose. The neighbor is not doing it on purpose. He does it out of habit and in consideration. What are we? 171, yeah? For it, through being inattentive, I do not deliver you to others. You will hand me over, it is certain, to the dreadful guardians of hell. He's making himself afraid again of the future. Sometimes this is healthy fear. If we don't fear if you don't have this healthy fear for the future, when it's difficult to abstain from something, we will not abstain from it. I think, me. Then, for this is how so many times I may have betrayed me and how long I've suffered. Now my memory is full of rancor. I will crush your selfish schemes. And so it is that if I want contentment, I shall never seek to please myself. And likewise, if I wish to save myself, I've always be the guardian of others. So again, our ego comes and how are you going to be happy if you do this? It cries out. But try it out mildly, and then see what happens. Don't forget, Shantideva says this to himself. You can adapt it or you can reject it. You have every right to reject this and say, this is nonsense. How can I make me happy? Like this young woman in Tel Aviv, she came when I was teaching Tonglen, and she said, she's very angry. And she said, how's this going to work? That I give away my happiness and I take the suffering of others. I said, well, what are you doing to be happy then now? She said, well, I keep what is good and I want to avoid what is not so good. I say, does it work? She said, no. So I said, well, might as well try something new. But we just do, it's the same as the government here in Israel. Everybody understands it's not working like this. But it just continues because there's no other way. It's habit. They don't see any other way how to change this. Okay, then 174, to the extent this human form, now it comes the body again. Oh, he's going bash the body. So, to the extent this human form is cosseted and saved from hurt, just so, to that degree it grows so sensitive and peevish. To whatever degree I take great care of this body, to that degree I shall fall into the state of extreme health. No matter how much care we take of the body, it's like, it always will need care and medicine and exercise and food. And having fallen in this way, if my desires are unable to be fulfilled, even by everything upon this earth, what else will be able to satisfy them? Having fallen in this way of myself, even by a very lamp on this earth, what else? For those who fall to such a state, the earth itself and all it holds are powerless to satisfy, for who can give them all they crave? Yeah, so again, probably trying to make other people happy, you can try as much as you want, unless they attain liberation and enlightenment, they will not be happy. Desires are endless, The thought that satisfying them will bring comfort and security is as amusing as trying to put out a fire by adding more wood. Pema Chodron.